these are slashing implements. These are what you see like the whole pirate movies and stuff where they're doing the swashbuckling with cutlasses. That's a saber style. Cutlass is a variation of saber that is a lot thicker, cheaper to make, heavier to swing. Sabers are what I like more because you can actually swing them. Sabers were what were used by cavalry. They would get on a big horse, have a saber that was about that thick and like this long, and they would just ride in and do this as they rode past people and just bash the ever-loving crap out of them. Other than that, really similar. These are, you cut your stomach open, fill out all your nice good stuff inside, cut your throat so they can get your throat open, or they can stab. And they're really nicely curved so that when somebody's blocking, if you turn your wrist properly, you can actually get your sword to curve around it. If you grab the oil, I guess. So if I'm stabbing and Christian's trying to parry or block, I can curve this sword around and into the stomach still. Got that nice little curvature. Yeah. Any questions about when swords became called pig diggers? What? That's what they call them because they're very thin. I will say, rapiers are very fast, sabers are very fast. I would take a hand and a half or a short sword like that any day. If you swing a short sword like a Roman gladiator hard enough and a rapier, you can break it. The rapier's not going to break anything else. Any questions?
I'm not asking.
Nope. All right. Moving on. Okay, so this is a bow staff, but for Europeans, they don't know it's called in the European style. Anybody watch Robin Hood?
Quarterstaff?
Yeah. Quarterstaff. No, shillelagh is a stick that's about this long that Irishmen use to beat the crap out of their drunk friends. This would be called a quarterstaff. There are two different ways to hold a quarterstaff. One is the over-under like I'm doing right now, the other one is over-over. Quarterstaff fighting is extremely straightforward. If you want to grab your bow.
There's magic.
Striking is literally done like this. There are underhand strikes in quarterstaff. There are overhand strikes in quarterstaff. There are, especially if you're using over-under, there are stabs in quarterstaff. Most of your blocks are obviously done with the middle strong part of the staff. Or you just make your extend, like apparently is my reaction. Really easy fighting. They're big sticks. They're usually about this thick around. Getting hit with one is not fun. You can definitely, if you get somebody in the head hard enough, you can kill them. Which is what the point was. Predominantly carried by people who didn't have the money to buy swords. Really easy to get a stick and beat the crap out of somebody with it. I'm an kid. That's pretty much my whole life. Which would make you think that I would be better at quarterstaff or not. Yeah.
Well, why do they call it a quarterstaff? Because I think it was like 1/4 the degree or something like that.
I mean, if they're this big, you're talking about a very small tree if it's only 4 times the size of this.
Right.
To be honest, I knew this at one point. I don't anymore.
When I was hoping that you did.
Somebody Google it and then tell me. Okay. Any questions on quarterstaff stuff? We're going to get to like the flourishy stuff with bow staff and why that doesn't work later. Awesome. No questions.
Axe murderer.
You're right. Jen. Yeah. Nope. It's fine. You'll be fine. Right. Take a shield. You're the only left-handed person that I can call out here.
Oh. I found it.
How dare you?
The name quarterstaff, the quarter probably refers to the means of production, the staff being made from hardwood of a tree split or sawed into quarters, as opposed to a staff of lower quality made from branch.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know where that is.
Okay.
We'll just start walking.
So what is this? Axe. Yes.
If
It's a fighting axe?
No.
Not at all. It's a wood cutting axe.
gives me no chance to win.
This is what would be used by peasants. Either this or like a scythe or any kind of tool they had on their farm or whatever when they got conscripted, because they're not going to give them an expensive sword if they don't know how to use it. They're not going to give them the training to use it because they're peasants who care. So you grab your axe, then you find yourself against a foot soldier now, who has a sword and a shield. You're probably screwed if you have no training. However, if you've lived through a couple fights, or if you've gotten somebody to train you how to use an axe, there are some awesome things you can do. First off, this thick wooden part can be used to block those little short swords.
No, I don't like this at all. That way?
We used to block that, right? And then if I do that, I can...
I'll come at you.
Do it.
Do it!
Do it! Hit the starter!
So you're here, I can bring this down, push the thing away, hit it in the stomach, do with this. Now, if you're using her shield effectively, the cool thing about the fact that these things hook down like this in the seat is that...
Ew, it's like one dude. I don't trust
Don't
you.
trust him.
I can swing and grab the shield and pull it down, and usually, that's how you go. I can pull it this way. If I got a buddy next to me, my buddy can just be like, oh, hey, cool, there you go, buddy, and then, do whatever he's doing. If it's a wooden shield, and I have a wood-cutting axe, screw. It's just going to swing right into it, it's going to break it, break her arm, possibly cut right through it, cut into her arm. If she has a metal shield, like she does, it's going to build my axe to hit it that way. I don't want to do that. I'm not going to cut through metal. If I do this, now I have a hammer. And that's going to do the same thing. It's going to dent that shield in, it's going to break her arm. I'm being exceedingly careful with this axe because this is actually my axe that I use for things. It's sharp. So, yeah, it's really sharp. So there's that. Another cool thing you can do with it is you can, if you're coming in, you can hook it and pull and yank somebody off balance with it, and that's really easy once they're on the ground to just do this one. And even if they get their shield up, like there's no chance. They're done. Their arm's broken, their chest is probably caved in. Drop the grate against that plate metal I was talking about. This, even with the bladed end, will crush in that plate metal and make them unable to breathe and will suffocate to death. Not a fun way to die, I assume. Any questions about axes? Awesome. So, the Vikings used to use hand axes, so they would have two, which would be, if you can grab the comma, there. The other one. So this is a combo. We're going to talk about this in a minute, but I'm going to demonstrate it right now like you would be demonstrating the hand axes that the Vikings use.
No.
It's used in the same fashion, so I have one axe.
I know it's good. You call one of them up here.
I grab it, pull it down, and then try and go for her throat or her chest or her stomach. I can use one of these axes to block her sword while the other one comes in. Again, little hand axes, wooden shield. It's going to be a really easy time for me to just bash it to pieces. One of the things so, the double-headed axes that you see in a wood-cutting axe, absolutely real. It means I can sit here and chop wood all day, and then when I'm realizing something, my axe head is getting dull, instead of having to go sharpen it again and come back, and switch it around and now have another axe. In the fighting sense, no, terrible, terrible idea. Those big, like, crescent moon ones you see are, like, 80 pounds and impossible for anybody to lift and swing. The problem with the double-headed axe is that if we're on a shield wall, like I was talking about earlier, and the guy comes up to me, block his thing, and I'm ready to hit him, I'm going to swing backwards, and Jed's face now has an axe in it, which is stuck, and then this dude stabs me and I die too.
No, you.
And two of us are dead, and nobody on the other side died at all. It's not a good idea. Being able to swing backwards and know that you're at least not going to cut somebody's head off is a great thing to know. Dan, we're done with you. Thank you very much. Round of applause for Dan. What? I'm going to. I think that's all for... No, it's not all for each weapon. Give me the floppy thing. Yeah. Finally. How to make a spear. That's safe. So, can anybody tell me, not what this is, it's very obvious what it is, and I just said the word spear. Can anybody tell me what the good thing about a spear is over any other weapon?
Range.
Correct. Especially when you have arms as long as me, and Chris even has, even if Chris has this, all the way out. All the way out? All the way out. And he's leaning too. I need to go for like my actual standing. He is still back here. Family show. So, spear is my favorite weapon because I'm already a giant. So, for those late covers, I'm 6'8", so it's awesome. My range with this is insane. I'm pretty quick with them. When it comes to the Chinese white waxwood ones that bend and stuff, I don't want to fight me with it. With those, you can literally whip it while stabbing, and if somebody blocks, the wood is so flexible that it will curve around, and like the saber did, it'll curve around and stab them anyway. Somebody probably got into a knife fight one day with somebody in the Middle Ages, and got stabbed but didn't die, and then was like, you know, it'd be really cool, man, if my knife was on the end of a stick, so I was far away from his knife. And then he was like, well, shit, let's tie this on here, and then he went and killed the dude. That's my fantasy about how the spear was invented. Spear is also a pretty straightforward weapon. There really isn't that much blocking, because usually you're behind a dude with a shield, and you're just kind of doing this to everybody, and it's really easy. What's that? Yeah. Also really effective against cavalry. If I'm on my horse with my nice sword, and I'm...
Great job. That's me the other way around. Okay. Hold on, I gotta start touching.
Right, so I'm the horse now.
Second that. Look at the horse.
Alright.
Get him.
So I'm the horse. I'm going to charge Chris because he's telling me to. So we're charging Chris. And... all of the things. I don't know why you whip this thing around afterwards. Maybe it's just like horses. If you were at the last panel, much like Masuyama, something like cows. Nobody else gets that. Fine. That's the implementation of the spear. It's pretty straightforward, and once it was invented and widely publicized, almost all battles were fought with it. They replaced swords almost instantly, because nobody wants to go into a fight with a sword knowing that everyone else has swords on sticks. It's stupid. Any questions on spears? Spear work? Different types of spears or pole arms? No. What's the weakness of a spear? The weakness of a spear. That the haft is made of wood, and if you get a really good swing on it, you can break it in half. And the ones that they used on to kill horses usually broke immediately. So if you didn't have another one, you were kind of screwed. Yes.
What's the weight to a spear?
The weight?
Yes.
That depends on the length of the spear and what metal is on the end of it and what its use is. The blade at the end is probably about 2 pounds, and then there's the wooden stick. So however much a wooden stick weighs. Granted, you get like an 8-foot spear. Back in the day, it was short. You'd have like a 12-foot spear, pretty much, because you would be behind 2 rows of swordsmen doing this thing, like I said before. It's just like, well, you're stabbed, and then I stab you, and then, you know, I'm way back here. The only thing I have to worry about is the other spearmen who are trying to reach me. Yes, you personally.
Was it a bad idea to throw the spear?
That wouldn't be a spear, that would be a javelin.
Yeah.
And those were super wickedly awesome. Yeah, there are a lot of cultures that use javelins very effectively. A javelin, when thrown correctly with the right tip on it, will punch through a cuirass, depending on what it's made of. Yeah, it'll punch through chest armor. It can split chainmail. Yeah, they're effective. But when you had a javelin, you didn't just have just one. You had like 7, and then you would throw one, and then you'd be like, well, now I have another one. Javelins, because they're like short spears, if somebody gets in close, you can definitely use it as a little stabby thing. There's really no way to describe that. Yeah.
How would you transport a spear in like medieval ages? Like, would you just carry it around with
What's
you?
that?
How would you transport a spear in the medieval ages?
Hard.
Carry it with you?
Am I marching or just walking around with a spear?
Walking around with a spear.
I mean, you can carry it over your shoulder, you can carry it like this, you can carry it like that. If you're marching, you can probably carry it like this. That's pretty much it. If you're like doing like fancy stuff, you can like carry it like this and like be weird. But you can carry it. There's not really like a cool way that you can't carry it on your back. It's way too big. You can't like. I mean, I guess you could like ride it like a pony. Everyone else in the company might think you're really weird though. Might sue you and burn you for being a witch. I don't know. Yeah, good question here.
Could you block a spear with a shield?
Block a spear with a shield? Absolutely. It's just as straightforward as any other thing is. It's a stab, so, I mean, you're literally just doing that. And it's going to glance off either way. The problem is that if somebody is pushing him like this way, and he angles it wrong, it can glance off and hit him. The point of this, though, is literally what I would usually do when I fight shield holders. Is I'll face somewhere. So I'll go here and go there, or I'll come up and swing and take out his leg. You got to be quick with it. That's if you're one-on-one, which you almost never are. Usually I'm either behind somebody with a shield, or either I'm here and I'm doing this thing like I was talking about earlier. It's cool, so I can just jump down and do this kind of thing, or I can use the gladiatorial rings a lot. Or I have a shield and a spear at the same time, and if it was up this way, I can literally just feed it here. And a lot of shields back in the day had knocks for you to stick your shield on. So you're going to sit here like this and do this thing. Cool. Very effective. Any other questions?
What?
Take a shirt.
No.
Yeah.
We didn't do that at any of the panels yesterday.
Well, I mean,
I'm just kidding.
No.
Oh, I'm going home.
All right, so then we're going to move on to, I need to get myself one of those. Let me get a site so I can bring that in. So we're going to move on to the Eastern weaponry now. So we'll start again with the sword.